My name is Daniel Tratler. Again, welcome to the World Health Summit 2021 Entrepreneurs in Global Health session. This session is unique in the World Health Summit in that in collaboration with the Charité, Berlin Institute of Health Entrepreneurship Summit, we have selected 6 standout startups to present their really innovative ideas in short presentations today. So there'll be about 5 minutes each. Because of normally we would have question and answers if this was live, but this year being virtual, we don't really have a question and answer concept set up. But if you have questions, then just there is a question that you can type your questions in the chat. But please leave your email address, and then the startup that you're asking the question to can write you back to your email later. So jumping right in, our first startup, our first presenter. Within 5 years, cancer will have been removed from the list of fatal maladies. That's a quote from US President Taft from 1910. That obviously didn't work out so well. And the reason why is because experts really say is that cancer is as individual as every person. So like a cure for cancer in that kind of way is not really possible, but there are many therapies available today. And really the key to success is early detection. And that is what our first startup, HD Bioimaging, will be talking about. And Shani Toledano is our first speaker. So go ahead, Shani. You're up. You have to turn. So you have to turn your microphone on.
Hello, everyone.
Hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There you go. Yes, good.
All right, perfect. Thank you. So hello, everybody. My name is Shani, the co-founder and CEO of HD Bioimaging, and I'm happy to be here today and to talk about heat diffusion imaging. So I'll be speaking today about the main worldwide health challenge that we know is really cancer, with a number of cases constantly rising, from 14 to 18 in 4 years. And one really sad fact is that 45% of cancer patients do not survive more than 5 years. And this is because their cancer was detected too late. This is a real global challenge we all must face. The doctors do not have all the necessary tools and data they need to see cancer at the point of care and in the operating rooms where it can really make a difference between life and death. Because they are already there and they're looking at the tissue, but they can't see what they can't see. My father was 56 years old when diagnosed with late-stage cancer. 9 months later, he passed away. At that time, I was an engineer at the aerospace industries. I've started to read and learn about cancer, trying to understand how it works, how it spreads. I was also completing my degree in mechanical engineering and then my master in artificial intelligence. And this led me to connect a kind of a bridge between an unmet need I saw and my passion for technology, and to start HD Bioimaging. So HD Bioimaging is here to save lives with early detection of cancer. We've developed an innovative imaging modality that is highly accurate, safe, and produces immediate results. HDI, heat diffusion imaging. The HDI is really the first imaging that is based on heat diffusion. And what we do is we are sending a heat waves to the tissue. Cancer and normal tissue transfer heat differently. And then we can read that signal and translate it into an image on the spot, so treatment can begin. Let's see an example. So this is one of our tested patients. Its tongue looks quite normal. We heated up the tongue, we measured the heat diffusion, and here is the HDI, the heat diffusion imaging image that shows a confirmed cancer that we couldn't see by naked eye. This system will be used at the point of care for early detection and biopsy navigation for the gynecologist, head and neck, skin, colon, and others, and in the operating rooms for surgery navigation, cancer detection, and safe margin detection with some other intraoperative oncology applications. So we are working now in 6 clinical sites in Israel and the United States. And now Charité in Berlin is really the first European site and the next clinical partner for us. And we are really, really excited to start this study with Charité. We are now discussing the FDA and expect to complete the first regulatory approval within 1.5 years. We have completed 100 patients clinical study and achieved extremely high accuracy in detecting oral cancer, head and neck cancer, with above 90% sensitivity and specificity. We have the best people in their field, oncologists, radiologists, AI and deep learning experts, medical device and heat transfer experts. But over and above, my team is really here to help detecting cancer early and to save people's lives. We are active in 2 main fields. So not only human, but also the veterinary oncology. And we are looking for a strategic and clinical partners to join us in those 2 fields. And I would love to further discuss with any of you that could be a good fit for us. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks, Shani. That was really amazing. Actually, I already can think of 10 questions to ask you, but I guess I'll have to write you an email. That was super interesting. Okay, our next person up has an interesting product, which when I first heard it, Bodytune, sounded like a new fitness app. But actually, if I understood the technology correctly, it's more of a diagnostic tool, and it's actually with life-saving implications. So our next speaker is Rutuja Salvi from IDTM GmbH and her product Bodytune.
So thank you very much for the nice introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Rutuja Salvi, and I'm here to present you the vision of our project, Bodytune. So as you see on my slides, 15 million people suffer from stroke each year, which makes it a second leading cause of death worldwide. The main cause of this is the blockage in the carotid arteries due to the deposition of plaque. Majority of the population suffers from asymptomatic carotid artery diseases. The diagnosis of the disease is done only on the first occurrence of a stroke, which can be fatal. Therefore, we need a device that can diagnose the deposition in very early stages. Therefore, we propose a solution, Bodytune. So as you see on the left side is our Bodytune device. We built a device to monitor the health of the carotid artery using a microphone and a desktop application. The blood flow sounds of the carotid artery are acquired by the Bodytune device. And by the way, you know, when we do this, we record a baseline that is very personalized baseline. For example, for Rutuja Salvi in normal conditions. Now, every person who is sick was healthy before, so there will be a difference in the audio signals. Imagine if we have plenty of sound recordings, we know what the normal flow of Rutuja sounds like, and we possibly evaluate what are the differences that we can detect in the current flow sounds. This can be achieved using big data and machine learning algorithms. The algorithms will identify the variations in the signals by comparing them to your personal baseline. The key here is your unique personal baseline. I call it unique because we proved this in our latest publications. So Bodytune is an inexpensive tool that will enable people to monitor their health remotely, even by non-professional users. The disease would be diagnosed in very early stages, and this would eventually avoid medical emergencies. So here is the business model for Bodytune. As we all noticed the breakdown of healthcare worldwide in the last 18 to 20 months, we proposed Bodytune that can be used as a home care device for monitoring. It can be used as a point of care device in extended applications in detecting breathing and coughing sounds, and classifying them further to a normal cough, COPD, or even COVID-19. So all this is hypothesis for now. But imagine if you have plenty of data points, what you cannot do with all this data. In the case of stroke, Bodytune can also provide quick diagnosis in ambulance. Considering the current pandemic, there's a huge market for monitoring devices like Bodytune, and there is a plenty of room for us to grow in terms of applications too. So here is our timeline. So our journey started in 2019. We developed the product. We have several publications with background research and preliminary results. We could convince reputed research institutes and universities with the idea of Bodytune, and now we have them as our partners. We have 3 patents pending. Bodytune has gained traction by winning awards and prizes in several competitions. Our timeline highlights the milestones that we want to achieve in near future, starting from incorporating our company next year in the first quarter, and then to have our first lifestyle product out in the market, and then to certify this device medically. And then here in 2024, we want to have these many full medical approvals. So here are the milestones that we achieved so far in terms of publication, in terms of awards and patents. So as I mentioned earlier, this project started in 2019 and is funded by the European Union until 2022. And we are very happy to report that we have achieved another industry in clinic grant that will start in the first half of the next year. And that's a super co-financing. It's more than €500,000 on top of that. And we hope we will find somebody in future who will also help us co-finance the growth of this project. And so we are actually able to scale and provide this device to many people we can. So this is our current research and advisory team, but we have actually been able to source and build a team within our organization, and we will start the process of an external company in coming weeks. So together you have seen that there has been over €1 million of money already invested. We have strong collaboration partners also internationally. We have connections in the United States through the University of Southern California. We also are connected to clinicians in the US and Germany who help us to define the product definition. I hope we have excited you enough about the future potential and vision behind this project, and which is much bigger than only doing the stroke. We hope it is exciting for you to be a part of this project in future. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rutuja. That was interesting. And now we've gone from heat to sound. Let's see what the next entrepreneur brings into our discussion. So I guess everyone learns in grammar school that, or in grade school, the largest organ in the body is the skin, and it's an amazing organ. But of course, there's a lot that can also go wrong with it. Our next startup takes on the challenge. So our next speaker will be Gregor Heinecke from DUROTECH.
DUROTECH is manufacturing blue light irradiation devices. Blue light can recover patients from chronic inflammations. When skin is involved, this is called atopic dermatitis. Atopic dermatitis has a prevalence of 6% in population in the Northern Hemisphere, and it is truly a folks disease. I was a patient myself over 10 years ago, and I've been cured with blue light. The irradiation devices have been tested with approximately 2,000 patients meanwhile, and a couple of pilot studies exist. So now we intend to introduce this therapy into the market on a broader basis. The radiation is free of ultraviolet light to avoid carcinogenic side effects. Ultraviolet radiation has been used as a treatment option for a long time now, but it can cause sunburn and skin cancer. For children, it is not advisable. Here's a view on the current devices and on our new development. There is a superstructure over the patient couch and a light source which is moving forth and back over it. We use special light sources which are not available on the market. In a healthy person, the immune activity is in a permanent movement because it has to defend the organism against infections, and it has to remain tolerant against its own cells. If the immune activity is surpassing a certain threshold, shown as the red parts of the line, an inflammation may occur. For patients who suffer from atopic dermatitis, the immune system is more active than normal and inflammations occur on skin. As per today, such skin inflammation can only be treated symptomatically. When making use of pharmaceuticals, the local immune system is suppressed temporarily. It also can happen that suppression is too much, so that there may occur an infection. More importantly, the patient needs ongoing medication to keep the situation stable. When the active pharmaceutical ingredient has been metabolized, the organism drops back to the previous state again. With blue light, takes place a continuous decrease of inflammation. For that, it needs approximately 18 irradiation sessions. Compared to modern pharmaceuticals, the treatment is very inexpensive. Here are some pictures before and after. This is the arm of a woman before and after. The result is not perfect, but good enough. A man's belly before and after. The elbows of a child. The disease is like a set of mosquito bites, but they don't disappear. There is a very strong itch and the quality of life is decreasing. Foot eczema before and after with a good result. Some patients even have eczema in their face, which is really a heavy burden for social life. My own hand before and after. The neck of a man, and it also works for children and even babies. There is no concern because there is no ultraviolet involved. We are on fundraising campaign as we need to perform further studies and need to further understand the effects of blue light. If you are an investor or you know an investor, please feel free to contact us. With 2.4 million euros, we will make this treatment further. We will move it further and hope we can make it available to a broader public. You can contact us via our website. There is a contact form right now in the Q&A session, which you can see here is also my website. And I would be happy if you have any questions and you want to ask, that would be fine. That's all from my side now.
Well, Gregor, that was very impressive. I think we all know people who have some kind of thing like that, so it's always really impressive to see such a dramatic result. So we've gone from heat to sound to blue light. Our next entrepreneur startup addresses something called acute kidney injury, which is not when Muhammad Ali punches you in the kidney. It's something more commonplace and pernicious, more deadly. And like all of these things, speed of diagnosis is really the key to success. And they have a really bold vision about how they want to address this. So please, well, then I guess you can't really welcome them. I just like to say, please welcome. Our next speaker will be Bartusz Reinhold, from the company Nephrolytics.
Yeah, hello. Thank you for the introduction. My name is Bartosz Reinhold, and I'm CEO and founder of Nephrolytics. We are establishing a new clinical standard in the diagnostics of kidney diseases. Up to 18% of all hospitalized patients develop acute kidney injury called AKI. This affects around 10 million patients in the US alone. The effects are significant. Acute kidney injury leads to a 10-fold higher mortality. As a result, 1.7 patients die every year. Additionally, the treatment of AKI patients results in significant costs for healthcare providers and healthcare systems. And most patients develop AKI as a result of a severe surgical procedure. This diagram represents the kidney function, GFR, of a patient that develops AKI. Within few hours after surgery, the kidney stopped working. As a result, toxic waste is not filtrated out of the body, resulting in multi-organ failure over time. And the challenge here is that currently physicians can only detect AKI with a delay of 24 to 48 hours. Therefore, often dialysis remains the only invasive and expensive solutions. This current state of care results in patients entering the vicious cycle of developing chronic kidney disease, leading to a deterioration of kidney function over time, dialysis, renal replacement therapy, and death. We have developed a solution to overcome this challenge based on a 15 years research of the Charité Nephrology Department. We have combined an optimized proprietary IVD kit with an AI-based digital platform. The result is that we enable the measurement of the true kidney function, GFR, in just 3 hours. This is up to 45 hours or 60 times faster than the current clinical standard. This significant time advantage enables doctors to intervene quickly and with less invasive measures to save patient lives. To summarize, Nephrolytics offers a combined IVD kit with an AI-based digital platform to rapidly measure kidney function and to detect acute kidney injury. Our beachhead customers are hospitals with cardiac surgery and cardiology departments. We enable cost saving by reducing ICU stay by minimum 1 day by enabling faster patient treatment. Just optimizing ICU capacity, enabling faster patient disposition, and reducing readmissions. We enable physicians to treat patients faster and reducing the liability risks, as our test enables that no patient with AKI will be discharged home. For patients, we aim to decrease mortality and enable faster recovery. We target a global 72 billion euro IVD market that grows with 4.8% CAGR. US and Europe represent 75% of this market. Our solution is, however, a part of a novel high emerging kidney function test segment with an estimated total addressable market of 4 billion euro per year. We want to address 20% of TAM by focusing on tier 1 cardiac surgery and cardiology hospitals and attain at least 10% market share within 5 years. We aim to commercialize our solution by direct distribution in Germany and through well-established global companies in the US and rest of the world, resulting in high revenue growth, leading to 105 million euro yearly revenue in the 5th year of operations. To achieve this plan, we are seeking financial partners to close our finance round in Q1 2022, and also partners for US and global commercialization of our products. Our vision is to establish our solution as the clinical standard within the next 5 years to save millions of lives and to reduce the financial burden on global healthcare systems. Thank you.
Thanks, Bartosz. That was also pretty amazing. Wow. Our next company and person is, I have to say, I was really amazed at the title of the next one, which was Ethnically Diverse Mini Livers. So I thought that I'm in communication, so You know, if you ever want to change careers, you could definitely go into advertising with that kind of a communication strategy. And basically, this company is a really interesting, forward-thinking, has some really interesting ideas about future health. A very forward-thinking company, not just with their communication, but with their whole strategy. So, our next speaker is Kate Cameron from Cytochroma.
Hi, thanks, Daniel. I'm Kate, founder of Cytochroma. We manufacture ethnically diverse mini livers to accelerate global drug discovery and development. Developing a new drug takes many years, is incredibly expensive and also high risk. Most drugs will fail during development and others even after they've gone into production. Two of the most common reasons for drug withdrawals are the lack of effective testing in distinct genetic backgrounds and severe liver damage. These are the two problems that Cytochroma solves by providing a diverse source of stem cells for testing and mini livers that predict toxicity. Induced pluripotent stem cells represent a sustainable and ethical alternative to animal testing. These can self-renew, become any cell type, and reflect the genetic background in which they come from. However, most of these stem cells are made from limited genetic backgrounds. Cytochroma is building the world's most ethnically diverse stem cell library to predict how drugs react in distinct genetic backgrounds. Our library is ethically sourced from healthy adult donor blood, contains genetic backgrounds that the FDA has highlighted as lacking in clinical trials. These provide an unlimited and sustainable source of cells for drug development. Cytochroma offer unique insight into how new drugs will react in a global population. Stem cells can make any liver, any tissue or organ, but currently Cytochroma are focused on the liver. Our mini livers self-organize and are polarized, reflecting the liver's natural architecture. They're arranged along cords and have complex functional bile networks, so can be used to model drug transport in and out of cells, a process that is disrupted in clinical disorders such as cholestasis. Cytochroma's mini livers are as mature and functional as current gold standards and have distinct metabolic function. This is varied, and each mini liver reflects its donor background. Our mini livers can be maintained long enough to replace early animal testing and grow in size and complexity over time, making them ideal for predicting the safety and effect of new drugs. With an aging and increasingly unhealthy population, new medicines are desperately needed to combat obesity, diabetes, and fatty liver disease. Cytochroma's mini livers can effectively model non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, diseases that affect over 1/3 of the world's population. Our lipid-loaded cells can be used to identify new therapeutics for these conditions. Cytochroma manufacture all of its mini livers via robotics and automated equipment, making our models highly scalable, reproducible, and reliable. Furthermore, this process is entirely animal and cruelty-free. We provide screening and a fast and efficient testing services. We specialize in phenotypic screening, which is a method where cells are painted with fluorescent tags, imaged, and the effects are quantified. This process can measure the effects of new drugs and determine their safety. Tiny visual changes in cell health can be detected, and our data analysis and studies, and via our data analysis, we study these changes at a single cell level and use machine learning to become smarter and more effective over time. This whole process is 5 times faster and up to 10 times cheaper than current standard tests. Testing in our cells gives early insight into drug function and effect, reducing animal testing and improving the number of drugs that reach the market. We have recently launched our disease models and are working closely with our clients to predict clinical success. With a global regulatory shift to reduce the need for animal testing and ultimately eliminate animal testing by 2035, Cytochroma are an ethical and sustainable alternative, providing faster, safer, and smarter testing in a diverse human models. We're currently seeking investment, commercial collaborators, and industry partners to develop new models and join our growing team, to make new medicine discovery faster, safer, and smarter. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. That was really super interesting. My microphone on? Yes. Okay. We have one more startup. I think when I was looking at the slides from our next speaker, I immediately thought of Star Trek and the tricorder. And actually, when I looked through it, their website, they actually had a statement that said, science fiction becomes science fact. So I don't even want to talk anything more about it because I'll probably say something wrong. I'll just introduce our next guest, Dave Herhangi from Ware Health.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dave Harangi. I'm the CEO and CTO of Ware Health. We design and manufacture wearable continuous vital signs monitors. I'd firstly like to talk a little bit about our journey and how we got here. The journey shapes a company's ethos and fundamental concepts that are at the heart of its products. And they are the building blocks of the cornerstones that set the company apart and defines its identity. This allows us to chart a path to build products that both patients and clinicians trust and rely on. Our journey begins with nuclear submarines. I developed my first wearable in 1985, the radiation dose monitoring solution for nuclear submarines. This was a wearable that sailors wore in their top pockets. And it's where some of our core fundamental concepts originate. First, the accuracy. Without that, there's no point in doing anything else. Usability, will it work in the environments I need it to work in? Do people need to be trained to use it, or can they just put it on? Durability, can it withstand harsh environments such as being dropped onto floors? Is it waterproof? It just has to work everywhere. It has to be autonomous. So 3 key concepts to this day that are still at the heart of all Ware Health products. So after having developed sensors, I ended up in the city writing derivatives and equity trading software. And it turns out that we monitor our money far better than we monitor sick people. Money markets are continuously monitored 24/7, and yet sick people are not. The key takeaway here is continuous monitoring and spotting deterioration at an early stage is far better than fixing things once they've gone badly wrong. And at this point, a project called EU Nightingale came into our lives. And this EU project was led by 5 academic university hospitals to address the issue of patients dying or deteriorating through lack of monitoring, both in hospitals and in their homes. A monitoring device to do this didn't exist, so a new generation of monitor was needed. And we worked with these hospitals, capturing every one of their needs for patient monitoring. On average, before COVID, you were monitored roughly once every 8 hours in a general ward across the Union, and considerably less when you were discharged home. Some of the world's most modern hospitals, patients die every day through lack of monitoring or deterioration being unnoticed. So Nightingale helped us shape the demanding requirements for the perfect sensor. And this is Sentinel, 10 millimeters thick, curved, recording a full set of vital signs, including a continuous blood pressure estimation without an inflatable cuff. Continuous single lead ECG without touching the bezel, and its intelligence is local. It works off-grid. So where are we now? Well, COVID kind of arrived, changed a lot of people's lives, but we were asked, can you make a low-cost monitor for COVID? As not only are we running out of vital signs monitors, we're running out of the people that know how to use them. And so DUROTECH was the result. A highly usable, low-cost medical-grade sensor that records all the key vitals for COVID-19, such as respiration rate, SpO2, heart rate, and core body temperature. And again, one of those key fundamentals, usability. Will this sensor work anywhere I need it to? Yeah, there are no routers, no hubs. Everything is inside the unit itself. Nobody has to install anything. It can be posted. Nobody puts any equipment in a ward or has to go to a patient's home to set it up. The device contains Wi-Fi, a global 4G cellular chip, Bluetooth 5, and NFC. It will work anywhere with or without a network connection. Now, I'm not going to go through all the data points we collect, but it's more than any other single device. And what we actually hope to do with all this data is that our customers generate their own IP. They excel in their medical fields, and they know what to do with this data better than we ever will. So none of the data passes through our servers. The customer sets the endpoint, and they own all the data. Wear devices also incorporate indoor Bluetooth beacons that report location, temperature, humidity, and this allows us to surface additional data like, can an increase in toilet visits possibly indicate a urinary infection or another underlying condition? Does the detection of near-miss falls in the hall perhaps mean we should fit a handrail before we break a hip? A cheap beacon allows us to surface much more data into the sensor. And we also believe in a more holistic approach to monitoring, and that includes mental health insights. Is the patient sleeping well, or are they just falling asleep on the couch? Are activity levels falling? Can we possibly identify depression? Can we use activity tracking to motivate the patient to take a more active part in their recovery? Again, no configuration, no switches, no dials. All the patient has to do is wear it. And where are we going? Partnerships. For us, it's about the partnerships, getting data to people who know what to do with it far better than we do. Drug trials, new R&D, COVID research, to name but a few. We're working with healthcare providers, institutions, universities, governments, and helping them get the data and the quality of the data they need to improve healthcare and reduce costs. So if any of these topics or goals I've spoken about today are of interest to you, please get in touch, and thank you for listening.
Okay, folks, that wraps it up for this year's World Health Summit Entrepreneurs in Global Health session. That was 6 really amazing. I was really amazed at all 6 presentations. It was 6. If I had the money, I'd invest in all of them. I think they're all really super interesting. I hope you all enjoyed them, and I hope we all see you next year in real life. And then we can actually see each other and ask questions and speak with the different people in person. So with that, yeah, bye and have a nice day.
Thank you, bye.